Wayne County tax auction. Is we live now? Yep. So what up though, y'all? Happy Sunday to you. We had to move it to Sunday because I'm in hot ASS Texas. Like this junk do not make me miss living in Mississippi. This is like how Mississippi was, but it was a little more humid because that was off the water. But as soon as I got off the plane, I was like, oh, absolutely not. Hair pinned up.
Yeah,
Nope, I'm straight. Don't want to live here. Detroit me, please. It's only hot for this amount of time, then we back normal.
yeah. People be complaining about like the weather here sometimes, but I'm like, when you get different seasons, it do something different to you. You know what I'm saying? Like
You
in the summer,
reciprocal,
yeah, you trying to hustle all summer. You trying to get it in. You trying to get all your bailout laps in during the summer.
right?
And then in the winter time, you got to snuggle up with somebody, or you trying to grind or do something different in the winter. So, yeah, I like the different seasons.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate all 4 seasons, 4 seasons of clothes, 4 seasons of hairstyles. Like,
Yeah,
cause them couple weeks, it was like, I think in the 90s, like everybody grass burnt in Detroit from that month. It was just like hot as hell.
right.
But I'm like, at least it'll be back cool. Cause like before I left, it was like 75, 80. I'm like, this is perfect. Like the air only kicking on as much as it need to. Like down here, when I got here, they Thursday, the Uber driver was like, this the first day it's rained in like 4 months. I'm like, oh no, no,
Yeah,
no, I would never live here. And they real estate here is disrespectful.
yeah, yeah.
Could not live here. Absolutely. Everybody be like, why you want to leave Detroit? So I could be broke? No. No. You can ball out in the D on 50,000 a year. You can ball out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Texas and California, I mean, Texas and Arizona had a lot of people from California moving
Hmm.
in because of the taxes. And then, yeah, it's just crazy.
No, I need to see my leaves change in September so I know what's about to come. I ain't got to
Yeah.
turn my heat on to probably maybe Halloween.
Yeah. And the good thing with Detroit, you can always own a winter house somewhere warm.
Facts. Or I just
Yep.
go visit my family. If it get too cold, I'd be like, I'm coming to see y'all. I ain't got time for
Right.
that. But I don't think I could live there. Because if I move anywhere, I'm going to have real bills and I'm straight.
Yep.
I'm straight. All right, we about to get rolling. So what up though, y'all? Happy Sunday to you. We had to move the show. So my bag on that. We got a special guest, Reggie P. Well, he a regular, he ain't no guest no more. That's my homie. He gonna be up here talking about the Wayne County tax auction, which starts next month. So
Yep.
everything starts at whatever the price is. We're gonna go over that. Couple church announcements. Shout out to everybody who attended Detroit Real Estate Weekend. We're gonna do a recap on here next month. That mug was so fun. I think this was the best year ever, and this was like the fifth year. I thought it was
Man,
before, but I looked. I was like, "Dang, this the fifth year."
I'm gonna tell you this. So like, I know a lot of speakers. I know a lot of real estate gurus. I know a lot of people that teach seminars. And I was sitting there like, damn, people was getting a whole lot for their money. Like the
Fact.
amount of information that was given, like when was it Dana Christian
Oh,
about
Dana the goat, dog. With that credit, she the goat.
yeah, the business credit, then with the container homes. It was just so much. I was like, damn, you getting a whole lot. And like when I started out, it wasn't nobody putting all that stuff together in one place like that. You had to go like pay 5,000 for this seminar, 4,000 for that one, and split it all up. It was crazy, but yeah, that was a lot of information.
Yeah, it was a lot. Like Giselle, like, and I like how we broke it up. We had Dana talk about just the business credit, but I Heart Credit, shout out to that's my homie. She spoke about personal credit because some people act like both work together actually, and people don't be understanding that you need both. And I
Yep.
didn't know that until I personally started building my business credit. I'm like, why I keep being denied? But once my personal credit hit like a 715, 720, I was able to get whatever I want. And I tell most people once you get an Amex card or a US Bank, oh, you in there. Them like the top cards to get.
Yeah. And
Like
then
you
like if you get a like I know some banks, like if they give you a business loan,
mm-hmm.
even though it's not a personal guarantee on it, some of them, if your personal credit get bad, like say if you have like a foreclosure or you have a bunch of late payments or something, they'll stop your line of credit. They'll just
Oh,
cut it off. Yeah, because they feel like if you getting in trouble personally, it's gonna flow over to your business.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, luckily I ain't got no lines of credit because all my junk maxed out to big orange sale, so we on a fixed income.
Yeah.
Like I ain't even going to that many football games this year. I canceled three. I was supposed to go to four. I normally go to four games this year. So far, I'm only going to homecoming. I canceled everything because next year I turn 40 and I'm getting my GT 500. So I was like, this year we got to scale back so my credit
Right.
score can be where I want it to be. So because I'm gonna buy my Mustang, I ain't gonna lease that.
Right.
And
That's
then
what's
or
up.
either put up a big. I probably want to put down probably at least 10 grand.
I think probably I'm gonna be 50 next year. I think I'll probably come out the box and stun again.
There you
I,
go.
I blew some
There you
I
go.
blew so much money in my 20s doing dumb stuff. I had hydraulics on my truck. I had rims and everything. I had a pickup truck. So in California, really like California and Arizona was the only place they would have a dancing bed with hydraulics on the pickup truck.
Hmm.
And I went to D-Tech first, and it was another place here in Detroit that could do it. Man, I spent like a whole commission check trying to get my truck to do that. But I was fly for a summer though. Yeah. But
No,
man, that was such a waste of money.
no, I gotta. I want my GT 500, and then I want to restore my mom's 76 vet. Like I want.
Oh, that's what's
Yeah,
up.
I gotta put that in the dream cruise. Like I already know
Yeah.
it's gonna cost me probably 20, 30 grand to restore it. I already know it because it's just been sitting outside since like 2000. And it's down south, which is good. But
Yeah.
I ain't opened like my uncle. He said he ain't opened the door. He thinks snakes in there. I'm pretty sure they are. Like I know that bottom got to be rotted out because it's just sitting on grass.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
the shell itself is like in very good condition, so it's gonna have to get rebuilt. So I already know that's 20, 30 grand. My cousin, he got a hauling contract with Chrysler, so I was
Right,
like, just throw that boy on there and bring it on up here.
right,
He's like, all right, cool, cuz. And then I was like, when you bring it, just take it straight to the place. So I don't want him to bring it up here and then it's sitting up here in the winter. So I was
right.
like, when you bring it, just take it straight to whoever we gonna take it to. As long as they take credit cards, here you go.
That's sweet.
Yep. So that's my plan. But yeah, Detroit real estate weekend was dope, man. Like I like the way we did it this year. This the first year we had a real itinerary because normally, we just be winging it. And I was
Right.
like, no, we gonna make times and stuff because I know people get tired of sitting in this van all day, tired of sitting in here. The only thing I think we got to improve on is we got to probably, I don't know, we should take more breaks during the workshop because I don't want to give too many breaks where people like, damn, all we do is break.
Right, right.
So I was like, I don't know.
I
But
think the format was good because you had a. I mean, if people are used, like I'm used to going to like conferences and seminars, so usually you have a couple hours and then you might have a short break, then the next speaker and a short break. So I think it was good the way it was set up.
all right, cool.
Yep,
We took a lunch break. We took like that hour because I was like, we need to get up, walk around, see downtown.
yep,
And the hotel was perfect because normally we do Greektown. I was like, no, I'm gonna move it to this side of downtown, so people
yeah,
on the other side. So I think that's gonna be the host hotel from now on.
yeah. That was sweet.
Yep. But yeah, so we got Reggie P on here. He's a hell of a broker, real estate agent, investor in the city. I know you got. I forgot how many years, but I know you got at least 20 years, right?
It's 30 years. This is my 30th year in real estate.
Oh, dang, that's
My
what.
30 years of licensed real estate. I was somewhat in real estate before I got licensed, but don't tell nobody.
Well, congratulations. I'll be licensed 10 years next month as a GC, dog. Like
Sweet.
that's crazy. Like I didn't really realize it till it showed up in my memory. And I'm like, that's crazy. It was 20. It was September something 2012.
It go by quick.
Yeah. Somebody said, when is the next event? 2023. That's a once a year event. Cause that
The
takes.
next event this weekend. Let's get it. No, I'm just just come up here. We get it popping.
No, but what I do want to do is like all the VIP guests from the last 5 years. I think at the beginning of the summer, I'm gonna do an event just for them, like
Right,
like a crash course to see where y'all at, what's stopping you if you haven't invested yet. Because some people do need that little push,
right.
just like a recap to see, like just for them. Like I ain't gonna make it expensive. Like you get your own hotel and stuff, just pay for the food or something like that.
Now let me ask you this: when people get ready to make their first investment, do they reach out to you? Like, do they consult with you first? Because I see some people they buy some stuff and I'll be like, well, you should have called me first.
Bruh, some do,
Okay,
a lot don't.
right,
They call me after the fact, and then I just bust out laughing. Like, how were you not at the seminar that you paid all this money for?
right, yeah,
Like, that's the part I don't get. Like, oh, y'all thought we was lying. Okay.
yeah. Because people call me, so people call me to sell something. Like I got a client now. She got a property, and the person that sold it to her showed her comps for like Oakman and all of that,
Yeah.
which is within a half mile. But she keeps saying she keep thinking her neighborhood is that, and I'm like, your house may look similar, but it's not that, right? And she keep when we listed, we dropped the price. We did another price reduction, but I told her where she should be at. She's about 20,000 overpriced, but she keeps saying, "But I got too much into it. I can't sell it for that. I can't take a loss." And I'm like, "You're gonna either have to rent it out or take like a $5,000 or $10,000 loss to get it sold."
I take my 10 grand loss and go on by my day, especially if she ain't
Yeah,
really, landlord. Cause that's gonna cost you more than 10 grand on the loss if they tear the house up.
yeah. And
Mm,
the good thing about her, she brought several properties and she was profitable on the other ones. So I said, you have to look at this like a whole portfolio. You invested in three properties, you made profits on two of them, and on one of them, you're going to take a small loss. But overall, you still made money on all of them. She can't detach her emotions from this property because of how much she put into it. But I would have told her never to buy it in the first place. The numbers didn't make sense.
Facts. Unless you was gonna buy a hoe.
Right. Yep. Then that's a whole different strategy.
Mm-hmm. All right, so a couple church announcements. We are both for profit entities. Um, you can always hit that donation. The cash app is running across the bottom. We appreciate those who have always donated. So shout out to y'all. We might have an event next month. I'm waiting to finalize the details with Detroit Pizza Bar. So I keep posted on that. It ain't gonna cost a lot. At the most, we trying to make it free. If I can work this out with the Detroit Pizza Bar, if not, it's gonna probably be like $15-$25. So it ain't gonna be much, but it's gonna be a dope concept. But so I'll keep y'all posted on that. If we do, it's gonna be the last Friday of September here in the D. At a black-owned restaurant, of course, Detroit Pizza Bar. I don't know if you've been up there, but it's really dope.
No, I haven't been up there yet.
Yeah, it's dope.
Check
And
them out.
I think that's all my announcements for this hell year. You got any?
Nah. Um, Check us out. We got interviews with Asia and some of the other top professionals on There's Something About Real Estate podcast. Mostly Detroit, Metro Detroit professionals, real estate professionals, contractors, investors, and everything, wholesalers. So that's about it for me.
I'm gonna put the link to the Wayne County Treasurer site in the comments so people know what it is when we get talking. All right, I guess I'll let you go ahead and open it up, Reg.
All right. So let me see what we want to discuss first. We got any questions yet?
Let me see. I don't see none on the ground. When is the next auction? That was one question.
All right. So the next one, I'm just looking at the site right now. So the next one, you have to register by August 15th. Well, no, you start registering August 15th, and then they're collecting deposits. So when you bid on a property, you want to, they're going to have a $2,500 deposit for if you're bidding on one property and $10,000 deposit if you're bidding on multiple properties. So the way they do it is pretty much the online bidding actually starts. The first set is September 2nd, and that batch will be closing September 14th through the 15th. Yep. So that's you want to get registered now, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
and be
All
ready to bid.
right, go one question. Do I need to do the 2,500 or the 10K deposit? Does the bid on one property mean I can't bid on another even if I lose? I'll let you answer that, Reg.
Yeah, so it's just on one property. When you get ready to bid, that $2,500 is you have that's when you have to give it. So the issue is a lot of people be like, okay, I want to bid on this property first, but maybe the deadline isn't up. So what we there's some brokers here, and I think I mentioned this at the event, that there's some brokers or there's other investors that will put up the 10K and allow you to bid under their account. Because what happens is if you win the bid, the county asks you how you want to take title. So let's say if I register, I put up the 10K and I'm bidding on behalf of other people for different properties. When I win the bid on one particular property, it's going to ask me and I can put that property in your name. But yeah, you're going to need 2,500. If you lose out, the disadvantage is if you lose that bid, you can't bid on another property because you only got 2,500 up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what some people do is that let's say you and three other people, y'all all put up 2,500.
Yep.
Now you got your 10 grand, and then y'all can collectively bid on more than one property. I only suggest that with people you trust, and y'all got some paperwork in between y'all.
Right. Yeah.
Don't just do
And
it for
and
anybody.
you need to know that they have the money to actually close on it too, because whoever account the name is under, the county is kind of like, you can't bid on 20 properties and only close on two. They're gonna hold you accountable. So yeah, make sure if you're gonna partner up with some people, make sure that y'all have you have like proof of funds or something for them as well, and have some type of written agreement.
Yeah, for sure. What up though? Wayne County auction, the list is long this year. Nobody paying taxes. I mean, you know what? I'm about to look. He probably right or she.
Yeah, it's always long though, but you got to keep in mind like it's only so it's probably a handful of properties that's like really worth investing in where there's going to be a lot of competition on, and these are probably like some properties that slipped through the cracks or somebody fell on hard times. So you got to keep in mind too, like if someone had a mortgage on a property, more than likely, if that property is livable or in fair to average condition, the bank is just going to pay the taxes to avoid losing it to the county. And then the bank is going to sell it as a foreclosure. So the condition of some of these properties, some people just simply walked away from them, or they didn't feel like they're 10,000 behind in taxes. They didn't feel like the house was worth 10,000. So it goes to the quality of the properties as well. So that's probably why the list is long. Plus, there's a lot of vacant lots on the list as well. So a lot of people don't consider that. There's a lot of fire damage properties on the list also. So it's finding the ones that make sense. But yeah, it's always been a long list.
I'm looking on here. It's really not that bad this year. Like compared to how it used to be. It said Detroit 3,218 properties. Then it got other zip codes, and that's just Detroit overall. And then it got it broke down by zip codes. That's not a lot compared to how it used to be.
No,
Harper,
we used to have what, like eight or 9,000 or something.
but who house wasn't on the auction then?
Right. Yeah.
Taylor got 41. And let me say that real quick. A lot of people be thinking the Wayne County tax auction is just Detroit. That is not true. Wayne County consists of other cities outside of Detroit. That's Garden City, Highland Park, which is a city within a city, River Rouge, Dearborn Heights, Brownstown Township, Belleville, Allen Park, Ecorse, Flat Rock,
Romulus, Inkster.
right, Harper Woods, Huron Township, Inkster, Lincoln Park. Oh, you say that Livonia, Melvindale, New Boston, Redford,
Yeah.
Southgate, Sumter Township. I have no business going out there. Trenton. Now these cities we name it is further and further away from Detroit.
Yeah, and the property values are different. Some of the property values, the average property value is higher than what it is in Detroit. You're just going to pay a lot more for the properties in the auction.
Mm-hmm. And then the ones that's not outside Detroit, it ain't gonna be nowhere near it. Detroit will always probably have the most on the list. At least I
Right.
think so. because Detroit is a bigger city, municipality or whatever, compared to the other places. Plus, I think in those other cities, the neighborhood or the family or somebody else will step in compared to like a Detroit property. Detroit, you just gonna lose it. Or what I say this in Detroit is more options to not
Right.
lose your house than it is in the burbs.
Yeah, and then you got to think some of these cities like Highland Park are only 2 miles long. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Redford is from 8 mile down to Chicago, so it's about what 5 or 6 miles
Mm,
long, and then probably 3 miles wide. So compared to Detroit, so yeah, the other cities are always going to have less. But yeah, when we say Wayne County auction, we're not just talking Detroit. It's multiple cities within that auction, just like with Oakland County and Macomb County as well.
yep. And those other counties have auctions as well. When are they? I don't know because that Reggie probably know, but I don't know because I don't buy out there.
Yeah, you can just go to their website. There are different times, and each county handles their auctions a little different. Um, Oakland County had a program where they would actually list some of their properties on the market with the realtor, and then some properties they would just go through the auction process.
Oh, all right. We got a question. I've heard something about taking title to the water company and then getting them to zero the balance as one of the first things to do after getting your property. Is there any truth to that?
Yep, that's you better do that first, like
Ace.
because um, go to the water department, go to the city blight office, and make sure they clean any blight off of your record. Because what'll happen is you'll wait until you fix the property and sell it, and a year or two later you go to sell it, and they're like, "We're not removing that. You should have did that when you first brought the property." So you want to get that water bill zeroed out. A lot of these homes don't even have meters in them. So if it's a balance due and you go to get water connected and they say, okay, we're going to install a new meter, then they see that $3,000 balance or something like that still on record, then they're not even going to turn the water on. So the first thing you do want to do is say, hey, make sure you tell them you brought it from the county so that they can zero that balance out.
Now, I got to put my Detroit thinking cap on.
Yep.
If I didn't buy it from the county, can I still go tell them that I bought it from the county and get my balance zero? Because I know somebody's about to ask that.
No, because they're gonna look at the deed. They're gonna have you bring in your deed, your ID, um, and yeah, the deed, the ID, and some other documents you gotta have, your social security number and all that, just to get water service connected.
Mm,
So that deed from the county is proof that you brought it from the government entity and that they'll zero out the balance. But if you brought it from anybody else, they're going to be like, well, you should have handled that at the title company when you close.
facts. Cause that's like Big Yellow, the one I got on Parker. I had the water department come out, and I was like, "Dang, I'm about to list this, so let me go and take care of all this stuff now." So the dude, he didn't even go in the house. He like, "Oh, it's vacant." I was like, "Yeah, ain't nothing in there." He's like, "All right, cool." Sign this little paper, and that was that. So
Yeah,
now I still ain't got the final bill. It should be zero, cause
right.
Emma ran everything for I bought. I did buy it on a quick claim, but I still had her run everything to make sure we were straight. That was back in 2019. I got it on Zillow for 130. The highest offer I got was 92.5. So somebody from the event I went to before I left, that developer thing they had at Detroit Pizza Bar. I don't remember if you was there or not. They I told them about it. They was like, I'm over there all day. He's like, I'll give you 92.5 for it, but that was when we talked Friday. So I don't believe nothing until I see something signed and the deposit's been sent.
Yep. Deposit proof of funds.
Yep, because people be like, "Oh, I want to come see." I'm like, "It's vacant. Here are the pictures. It's gutted to the studs. What is there to see? It needs a full rehab."
Right.
You want to ride by there? Okay, fine. But if I keep it, I'm personally gonna tear it down and drop me a duplex container on there because a demo gonna cost me about 30, probably about 30. Because I'm cool with a lot of people, so it probably cost me about 30. What it should cost probably close to 50.
Yeah, 50, 55.
Yeah, it cost me about 30. I barter everything. But
Yep.
that's the importance of relationships.
Yeah, yep.
The importance of relationships. Just like at Detroit Real Estate Week in VIP, I had some very big, major people in there. Like,
Yep.
for real. All right. Oh, one question that ain't nobody asked though, but What type of deed do you get once you purchase at the auction?
They're giving you a quick claim deed, and the issue with the quick claim deed. So here's the thing too, a lot of people, and we mentioned this at the event, and we probably mentioned it here before, but when you buy a property from the county is not, people will say, well, they gave me, I brought it from the county so title was clear. Yeah, no, right? So the county had an issue before where they didn't serve all the interested parties in that property. So let's say grandma owned the property and she had, granddaughter on title or whatever. They served the property. They put a notice on the door. They served grandma, and maybe a deed or something wasn't recorded, or just anything could have happened where they didn't serve the granddaughter who was also on title. So now the county is giving you a quick claim deed, but they didn't properly serve all the parties who had ownership interest in that property. That can be like a window company, it can be a contractor who had a mechanic's lien on the property. They have to give everybody proper notice that this property is going into foreclosure.
Mm-hmm.
So most title companies won't insure title unless you do one or two things. One is you do a quiet title suit. That's where you actually go to court. You file, and the court is going to go through a process of quieting the title, meaning that they're going to put public notice out there. They're going to notify everybody who had ownership interest or interest in that property. It takes a few months, but it clears the title completely. And then the title company will say, okay, we'll insure title on this property when you go to sell it. The other option is like Detroit Title offers a service, and a few other title companies. They'll basically pull the FOIA, and basically that's giving you information on everything the county did with that property as to the foreclosure process and who they served and how they served them. And the title company will review that information and say, we're satisfied with what the county did. There's no need to do quiet title. Then we'll go ahead and issue a title insurance policy on this property. So my recommendation is when you get the property, if you know you want to bid, go ahead and start your title work process. At least have a title search done so you can see what's going on with the property. Now, if the property is occupied and it just so happened to be occupied by the previous owner that lost the property, sometimes you can have them sign off and have them do a quick claim deed to you, removing their interest, even though they already lost the property. The reason you would do that is because a title company will no longer have a requirement on title to remove that person's interest from the property.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question. Can you pay the tax balance on the home to purchase at the auction or at 400 Monroe?
So, like, I guess I'm understanding that. Can you just pay the balance and you own the property? If I'm understanding that right. So, no, the answer is no, no in theory, but yes. So the auction, when the first auction is two auctions. The first one is whatever the taxes are due on the property. That's going to be the minimum bid amount. So if the taxes owed was 8,000, and the starting bid will be $8,000. So yeah, if you're paying that amount and you win a bid, then you own a home. But if somebody is past due on taxes and the county hasn't foreclosed on it, if you go pay those taxes, you just did that person a favor. So
Yeah.
if it's not in the auction and you pay the taxes, you just paid the taxes. It doesn't. Our state doesn't do you're not buying tax liens, in other words. So the only way to acquire the property is through the tax auction.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people do be thinking that like, oh, I just pay the taxes and cut the grass and stuff. Most people cut the grass because they don't want their house looking crazy, and then
Right.
you kind of don't want nobody just go up in there squatting because you don't want your neighborhood to change technically. But if you go down there and pay them, that's what you're gonna do. Perfect example. I had put a lien on this. You probably do know a Reg. I ain't gonna say her name, but we end up selling out of court like 3, 4 years later. This lien started at $400, then got up to like I think 1,800 because I renew every year. I
Right.
add late fees. I add interest every year. I follow the Michigan law to the T. So since I had a lien on there, they sent me a copy saying that the house was due in foreclosure because it's all interested parties. So I went down to the hearing so because this I didn't know all this now to find
Mhm.
out what's going on. Then I sent her a text like, "Hey, I'm down here at the auction." I was being petty at this point, but I sent her a text. I was like, "Hey, I'm down here at the auction. I found out that the house is up for foreclosure. I'm gonna just pay this little $7,000 you owe and add it to my lien plus twenty six
Yep.
percent interest." And then she texted me and me like, "You can't do that." I was like, "Girl, that's the Michigan law. What are you talking about?" But so I talked to an attorney that was there. They have people there. That's another thing about Detroit. They do. It's so many things they do to try to help you not get to this status. So they had attorneys down there. They had some type of lenders down there that and like people about your credit and stuff just to help you get to where you need to be so you can get out of that foreclosure status. And so I talked to the attorney. They was like, "Well, just try to work it out with them first before you pay it." Because I was sure gonna pay it and be that petty, and not this little $1,500 about to be like 13 grand. But
Yeah.
she ended up selling it, and I ended up getting paid, and we did a settlement for like I think $900 or something. I should have been petty and took all my money, but I was like, it's whatever. But she had to pay me because we was about to go into my 5th year of renewal, and after that, I get first right of refusal.
Right.
So I don't think she knew I knew all that, but that's
Yeah. And you just explain why, it's not as many. For one, it's not as many foreclosures, period. Tax foreclosures, bank foreclosures, because property values are up. People have equity in their home. It's no need to lose it for less than what's owed on the property.
mm,
But the thing you just mentioned is why we have to go through this process, because there are people that have liens on these properties that maybe the county didn't serve, right? So that's why you see the big, if you ride past certain properties, you'll see the big yellow sticker with a notice in there. Everybody's getting notified. Now, some title companies, maybe you brought a tax foreclosed property, 7, 8 years ago. Some title companies, they'll just say, hey, it's past this period of time. Nobody made a claim to the property. We'll go ahead and insure title anyway. But if it's something you're trying to buy and sell right away, I definitely recommend that you go through the clearing title process so that you can get title insurance on it when
mm.
you sell it.
All right, next question. Estimate cost of full rehab. A full gut rehab on a 2-family flat. Shoot, you looking at least 200,000.
Yeah, and again, it depends on the size of the property and what you consider a full rehab. Everybody's idea of full rehab is different. So when you say full rehab, I'm thinking of gutting it to the studs,
Mm-hmm.
and that's different than, okay, the kitchen is outdated, but everything is functional in the house. So I just need to replace the furnace, update the kitchen and bathroom, paint it, put flooring down, and maybe a new roof or something like that. But when you're talking about windows, you're talking about roof, you're talking about fixing damaged foundation, it's all going to change.
Yeah, cause so like Big Yellow, the Parker one, it's gonna cost me 180, 200, and that's with all my subs looking out for me. So if this was a client's house, oh y'all looking at 250, 285, because I gotta go from the top to bottom. Like it need a roof, it need windows, it's old wood framing, so I gotta seal that, tie back it, and then side over it,
Right.
and then go and do the inside. But the value over there is like 400,000. So if you're gonna rent it out, you could probably rent the downstairs flat. It's a 2-1. You probably can get 1,500 over there easy. That's Island View.
So the only way you can really get under 25, 30,000 for, like, when I'm talking about like a tax foreclosed property or property that's been sitting vacant for a while, is if maybe it had a newer roof. Say the roof is less than maybe 10 years old. You may have to go in and switch out some plumbing and switch the pecs, your furnace, and maybe it's something that you can just paint. Maybe the windows are decent, and then you're not putting in high end finishes.
Yeah,
So maybe it has the old countertops and cabinets that's sturdy. The materials are good, and you can just maybe reface them and change the hardware. But once you get into updating the kitchen and bathroom, you're going way over that budget. Once you got to do a roof or deal with foundation issues, so Yeah, anything less than 30,000 is just is something that you kind of just really touching up. There's no major issues wrong with the property. Or
Yeah.
you're doing the work yourself, or you're trying to piece together a bunch of different handyman and trades people yourself, and you're like the GC, but then that becomes a headache. Or you end up paying 2 or 3 times because people start running off with the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like if I do keep Parker, I'm gonna just demo it, and yeah, I'm just gonna tear it down and keep the lot because I know what's over there. I know what's coming over there, and once they deal with our cousins that squatting next door, I'm gonna get that lot because
Right.
I don't know how that house still standing. It's like 20 people living in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are y'all still here, bro? I even reached out to the land bank because I thought it was one of theirs and they was squatting, but it's not. It's actually still privately owned. So I think I'm gonna reach out to that owner see if they want to just sell it. Because if they sell it to me, I'm just gonna tear it down and just get everybody over there $1,000. Get on about your life because you ain't gonna either you gonna take this stack or you gonna get put out. How do you
Yeah.
want to do this?
Either or.
Yep,
Yeah, and if they get mad and tear it up, it ain't gonna matter because you tearing it down anyway.
it's already towed up. Like they
Right.
are doing their bathroom business in garbage bags and putting it behind my house.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause at first I just had it boarded up for like years. Then they kept going in there. I was like, fix this problem. So I put dogs on there. Now they just be sitting on the porch. The porch is on its way to Porch Glory. Why are y'all sitting over here? Y'all got a porch.
Yeah.
And I go over there, they like, you need something done, you need some work. I don't need nothing from y'all but y'all to move.
And that's another thing. Like some of the properties that you go and bid on. So I always tell people, especially if you're going to be bidding on more than one property, first sit down, do a Google Street View just to kind of get an idea. Don't count on Google because a lot of times it's outdated for the photos. But do a Google Street View. If you go down the street and back up the street, sometimes you'll get a different photo because they took them at different times. So do that first. Narrow it down to maybe, don't get overwhelmed. Narrow it down to maybe like 10 properties. You
Yeah.
say, out of everything on this list in the zip code or these 2 or 3 areas, I want to narrow it down to 10 properties. Then set your budget. Say, based on this property, worst case scenario of this property needing everything from roof to foundation, what's the most I can afford to invest in this property based on the comps in the area, the ARV, and my strategy if I'm a buy and hold or if I'm trying to flip. Then you narrow that list down to your 10 top properties in those areas, and then you put that list in order, right? Then you actually go out and you drive the neighborhoods. If it's a hot day, drive it one day as soon as school is out, or
Mm,
drive it on the weekend so you get a feel for it. You want to see what the neighboring house is like. Circle the block a couple of times, see how the neighborhood really is. And then when you narrow it down, you may narrow that list down from 10 to maybe 6 or 5 or whatever. Then you have a list of, in order, your first pick, second, third, fourth pick, or whatever, and you have your prices next to it. Whatever that price is, stick to it because you'll get in that auction and you'll be like, okay, I bid 30 on this, but somebody only at 31,000. Well, what's another $1,000? I'm gonna bid 32. You'll get emotionally caught up in
yeah.
the bidding process. Oh, it's just another $1,000. Next thing you know, you 10,000 over. Well, you didn't blow your budget because you still got to factor in 90% of your rehab jobs. It's a chance they may go over by 5 or 10%
Yep.
because it's a lot of stuff contractors can't see until they start pulling stuff apart. So have a strategy to bidding on these properties. Don't just look at them, look them up on Google and look at Zillow and be like, okay, I'm going to bid 35 on this one. You need to have a strategy so that you're successful and you buy the right properties.
Yeah, for sure. And then as far as the contractor part go, I always tell people whatever my bid is, add 20%.
Yeah.
Like that's a good contingency plan, at least 10. Um, but I know like with my houses now, like I'm so good with my estimates now. Like and I've done enough Detroit houses to know what change orders are going to come. So I just put that all in my bid anyway, because I already know that. Only thing I can't predict is underground plumbing. It's the only thing I can't predict because the water got to be on for us to do a snake with the camera.
Right.
That's the only thing I can't predict. But if the house is at least 100 years old, I'm gonna guarantee I got to do some underground plumbing. Guaranteed.
Right.
If it's from the 40s to today, maybe, maybe not. That's a 50-50 chance. But underground plumbing for sure. If that basement is a brick foundation, I'm doing underground plumbing. I already know.
Then you want to one of the other things too, I tell people, ride by the properties too, because if you can ride by at night, because some of these properties, like you were dealing with the property next to yours, some of them have squatters in them. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have no utilities on. You go by at night, you might see them burning a candle, or you might see the fireplace lit or something like that. So it's a way you have to deal with squatters. Some people will offer cash for keys. They'll approach them and say, "Hey, I brought this property. Like you said earlier, I give you $1,000 to relocate." A lot of properties are tenant occupied. They didn't know their landlord lost the property until they got served, until the posting was posted on the property that it was in foreclosure. Some people were in a property and they think they own it because they paid the taxes. Hey, my landlord was losing it. I haven't heard from him, so I just went and paid the taxes. That's all fine and everything, but it doesn't guarantee you ownership interest in the property.
Yeah, because he can still sell it,
Right.
and you still be on the street. Like
Yep.
my little 9,000. Oh, check this out. So I don't know if you've seen on my stories in Brightmoor, they having a city proposal meeting this week about the new developments coming over there. And I was like, I fucking told y'all. I've been telling y'all for 7 years. Buying Brightmoor. Brightmoor. I just bought in Brightmoor this April. The one next door I'm about to get for $5,000 and put my man out and his mama and daughter and grandma. All y'all getting out. They ain't paid rent in like 4 years. She said, I'm like, girl, they getting over on you. I was like, I'll take that off your hands. Take these 5 stacks. All I'm waiting on is Emma to give me a closing date.
Right.
And then
That's
I'm sending
crazy.
them the letter. I talked to Posse. He was like, yeah, you know what to do. I just send them a nice all occupants letter. Put you some fire protection on there.
Yep.
Cause
Yep.
theirs is a 3-1, mine a 2-1 that I bought for $9,000. My Section 8 reinspection is Tuesday. It's about to rent for $850 a month in Brightmo. Just a little 2 bedroom, 700 some square foot house, and there's a 3 bedroom. So that got to be about 1,000. If I do appliances, it's probably about 1,100 or so.
Right. And the area, like areas like that, like Brightmoor, the population is going to increase because people are getting priced out of other areas. So like people that was living 8 Mile Evergreen and paying 850, that's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be the same. That's not going to be the case once them people move out. Remember, it's going up to 1,100, 1,200. So they're going to have to move further south in the city in neighborhoods like Brightmoor or something like that, where they can still get a 3-1 for under $1,000 a month.
Yep. And then some of them houses over there big, some small. But I was like, I've been telling y'all. So now that I got my one property on the block, now I'm about to start buying up all these little lots
Yep.
and just chilling. Like it's deers over there in Brightmoor still, rabbits, raccoons. I'm like, dog, this farmland.
Yep.
But I was like, I've been telling y'all. I'm gonna post that video tomorrow. Like I told y'all once again. Look at me being right yet again. All right, we got some more questions. If you start with a deposit of 10K to bid on more than one property, what will that $10,000 go towards?
Towards the house, or you'll get it back if you'll get the difference back if you only brought one property and it was under 10K. But there's a registration fee regardless of what deposit you pay. I think it's like $50, and that's non-refundable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, next question from she got 3 questions. What are some typical fees involved when buying a tax foreclosed home?
You're gonna have your state transfer tax, which for Wayne County is $8.60 per thousand. So it's actually a state and county tax combined. That's the amount, both. And I think they charge you like some type of processing fee or something like that. It's only a couple $100. It's not much. That's probably why I forgot it because it wasn't that much.
Chump change to a boss.
Right.
Is there a minimum bid on properties on the website before the auction starts?
Yeah, you'll see it. So the first auction that's coming up, the bid amount is typically equal to the amount of taxes that were due. The next auction, that one's October, right? Yeah,
Yep.
that was October. And excuse me if I forgot because I thought they were going to make some changes this year because what was it last year they held off, or was that 2020 they held off?
That was 2020 they held off, but they had 21.
Yeah, so yeah, the next auction, the minimum bid will start at $500. So usually some of the better properties will usually get sold in the first round, and then we call them kind of leftover properties that are purchased in the second round. But that's usually where I find my sweetest gems at because like um, if you want like the 2 bedroom frame house that's maybe like on a slab or a basement and it's little to no maintenance on it, I'm talking about after it's repaired. Those are typically the homes that would show up in the second auction. Or like 3 years ago, you would have seen Brightmore homes on there for 500 or 1,000, and everybody's bidding 1,000 or 1,500, which is not the case now because of what Asia said. But those are the properties that were kind of left over. You'll probably get those for 5, 10,000, maybe 15,000. But the first one, the one that's coming up, is where you're probably going to find a better property set, but you're probably going to end up paying a lot more. Now, the county does have what they call premium properties, and typically those bids, the deposit for those start at 25,000. So premium properties, they didn't I don't have the exact definition of what they consider premium, but just from past experience, premium properties would be more like some of your commercial properties that are like on a major street, maybe like Woodward or something like that,
Mm.
or in a high end area, maybe like a historical district or Palmer Woods or something like that, which you rarely see those in a tax sale. But every now and then you find something like in Bagley or something where the property values are extremely high, and that's going to be a premium property.
Yep. Um, what are the Section 8 limits for a 3 bedroom?
Is that Mel Mitchell, Melvin from Detroit?
I believe so. It's the only one I know.
Oh, if it is, man, you know the answer.
Right. Why you up here
No,
asking stuff you know?
I don't even know the limits. I just know because I see it different. It depends on which housing authority, because I know you have several different agencies for Section 8, and then it depends on what city too. But I mean, yeah, I think it's like maybe like 1,200 or something like that. I don't know. I don't do a lot of Section 8, even with my investment properties. I'm just renting to whoever comes with the amount that I want. But
Right. Oh, girl came. She like my voucher for 847. I was like, that's what the rent gonna be. Well, I made it 850. I was like, girl, just give me $36.
right.
We square.
Yeah.
Like we Gucci. Like I'm not a greedy landlord. Whatever your voucher is what the rent gonna be. I just want somebody in there, and then I'm gonna get paid on the first. But
You
I
know who would know the answer to that is Marcus, though, because he was in
yeah.
property management, so he would have be better to answer that question for
And
you.
then I know if you got appliances, and then the whatever upgrades you do, the more you do to the house, the more rent you can get.
Yeah, appliances definitely changed the amount that they would pay. So a lot of people, they would go to like a used appliance place and get some of the better appliances from there,
Yep.
install them. So yeah,
Or Facebook Marketplace. Don't be sleeping on Facebook.
right.
Because you can really negotiate, especially around holiday time. Everybody trying to get their kids some Christmas gifts and back to school time. You can rack up. How much does underground plumbing usually cost? Whew, shoot.
The cheapest you're gonna do, depending too, if you're going all the way out to the main,
Mm-hmm.
um, the cheap the cheapest I seen it done recently was about 3,500, but that was just fixing the section, right?
Yeah.
So they ran the camera down there, they seen a section that was broke, they dug down and replaced that section. The issue with that is okay, this is 70, 80 years old. This section is broke. You think the next section gonna wait around and just be like, oh, I'm gonna hold up for the team? Nah, a year or two later, that's gonna break. Since you in the ground anyway, you might as well dig
Just
it
do
all.
it.
But I get it. We just want to do just enough so you can flip it, or just enough so you can rent it, collect some money, and worry about the other problem when it or if it happens. But yeah, you can be as much as 10, 15,000 depending on how long that line
Shoot.
is.
I know somebody they paid 40.
40?
That was remember at the container home. They
Oh
getting
yeah, yeah.
yeah, they was getting one built and they had to pay 40 grand for underground.
Oh,
Because
but they was getting it the whole new system
yeah,
installed, right? And
yeah, that
connected
was
to the
new.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking about is you ran a sewer scope and you seen a crack in the line. It's probably not even backing up yet, but it's a crack there and you got to dig underground. And you're only digging maybe from the yard to not even all the way out to the connection. And that's going to be cheaper. You can be 3 or 4 thousand. But when you start digging underground and you got to go across cement or
Yeah.
something like that, that's where it get more expensive. Or let's say you got a property that sits way back on the lot, but now you got to go out so many more feet just to connect. Every extra foot is costing you more money. So it really depends on the length. But the cheapest you're gonna get it for, just just to come out and start digging the ground, you're gonna spend about 3 grand.
That's I think that ain't with a permit though.
Yeah, well,
With a permit, you probably be at least five, and that's somebody that's small time and out there doing it himself.
right.
Now, if you call it Roto Rooter in them, you at least 12 grand,
Yeah, you're gonna spend some money.
at least. But I personally only replace the whole line if it's wood, because people act like Detroit still has wooden pipes underground. I know this for a fact because I worked on the highway. So if that whole line is wood, yeah, you gonna have to go and replace that. You just gonna have to. But I'm with Reg. I'm on replacing what I need to, so I can pass my inspection and go on by my day, and that's on the homeowner. Now, if it's a house I'm in for a client that's a homeowner, normally they will replace the whole line. If it's an investor, yeah, they just gonna do whatever they need to pass.
Right.
How can I research the past taxes owned on the property? Boom, I put the links uh in the chat, so y'all gotta scroll up. But I'm on the site now, and they got all the way back to the houses sold in 2019. The ones that were not sold in 2019 and 2021 are still up for grabs. So that is one thing about the Wayne County auction. Whatever doesn't sell in September, October, you can still purchase throughout the year, right, Reg? Off
Yep.
that list.
Yeah, and then the other thing too, like they actually put out a list of properties. So people that are in foreclosure come March of next year, they're gonna post that list even though they haven't completed, they're not going to auction. The other thing is too, so when you see people that are delinquent, like they have a delinquent property tax list. When you see that list, you can just reach out to the person direct and say, hey, you delinquent on your taxes. Let's work something out so you don't lose the property. So this way you get the property before it's vacant while it's somewhat, still decent if it's decent. And you can work something out with the current homeowner. The other thing is too, what was I about to say? So that's one option for you. We talked about the pass list, and the other one will come back to me in a minute. But yeah, reach out to some of the homeowners that are on a delinquent list next year before the auction even happens.
Mm-hmm. All right. Poncy, what up? You can come on here, Poncy, if you want. If a property sells for more than the county tax owed, does the owner get the difference? That's a good question.
Yeah, Ponce coming with the legal. So recently, so before they wasn't, right? So I know it was and Ponce probably can explain it more, but there was a lawsuit or something proposed. I forgot what happened with it, but now they're saying that those owners that lost their properties, the property taxes, and those properties were sold, they're entitled to the difference of what the property sold for. So Ponce's the attorney, and that's a legal aspect. So he can explain that
Yeah, I
more.
just sent them the link if you want to come on here.
Yeah.
All right. Can you use credit cards or cash only to purchase properties?
I think they accept credit card payments on their site
Yeah,
because
you
you're
just
gonna go to
fee is, I think.
yeah, you're gonna go to the bidding site. So yeah, you're gonna put in your credit card information for your deposit and everything.
All right, let's go to the ground. What questions we got? Would I have to get licensed if I bring my own crew to work on the property that I buy? Yes and no. No, if you pull a homeowner's permit. The only thing is if you bring your old crew, you need to know Michigan laws because I think we got some of the hardest codes in the nation because we have frost laws. So you do need to know the Michigan code. So I do have clients that bring their own crews and then they pay me to like watch them and I still put a permit for them. But of course, that's not for free. But I mean, it's an option. What else? What are some past winning bids you guys have had, and what kind of conditions were the houses in? I've personally never bought from the auction. I do like Reg just said. I reach out to the homeowner before it gets to the auction, so I'm gonna just throw them a little couple $100, probably 500 just to move, and then I'm gonna go get on the tax payment plan, fix the house up, and then sell it. Cause getting on the tax payment plan takes it out of foreclosure status, and then you got to put they normally want you to put a big amount down depending on how much is owed, and then you pay your monthly payments after that.
Yeah. So the last one I brought, I paid 6,000 for it. I had to put a roof on it. It was a little small, 2 bedroom, 1 bath home. I paid 4,000 to put the roof on it. Interior, we did the cabinets and everything was good. It was actually somebody living there, but it was just nasty. But we kept the cabinets. We painted, put in flooring, replaced a couple windows, replaced the furnace. The basement was flooding, but it was backing up just because it hadn't been snaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so altogether, I had probably like another like 10,000 into it, 10 or 12,000. I forgot the exact amount, and I held it for a while as a rental. I only charged 650 a month for that one. Then I eventually just sold it for like 25,000.
That sounds good to me. I hope this isn't a repetitive question. Can you make payment plans on the tax bill? Definitely.
Yeah. So if somebody's delinquent on their taxes, you got to keep in mind the county really don't want these houses back. The land bank don't want the houses back. They don't want to be in the business of real estate. So they do everything in their power to try to keep people from going into foreclosure. Here's the other thing, too. I'm glad we talked about this. So if you bid on a property, you are not guaranteed that property. And if you see properties on the list, the county can take a property off the list at any time. And one of the reasons too is because let's say they realize they didn't serve somebody, or the person they serve, maybe they served a person and during the time that person was in the hospital and they passed away, and now a probate estate is opened up. A probate case is open. So the family was never served. The personal rep was never served. The beneficiaries was never served. Everything was served to the original owner. So a family can go and say, "Hey, we're in the middle of probate. This just happened." The county has the right to pull that property from the list. If you bid on the property and you're the winning bidder, do not go start working on that property until you get the deed. Don't touch that property. Don't try to clean it out. Don't change the locks. Don't invest a penny into that property until you actually receive the deed from the county, because they can pull it at any time.
What about insurance?
Now, I would get insurance on it. Um, I probably would still wait until I get that deed, but you can talk that over with your insurance agent, because if a claim comes up and you don't physically have the deed, or you don't see on the county register of deeds, because it'll be recorded and then sent to you. So if you see that it was recorded, then technically you're an owner at that time. But talk to your insurance agent, because if you try to make a claim on a property you don't actually own. You can't stop. Oh,
Right. No, the live just ended and it went to somebody's page.
yeah. So yeah, so talk to your insurance agent about that. I don't want to give insurance slash legal advice on that, but yeah, I would definitely seek out some insurance at the time when you know you want to bid.
All right. It was questions on the ground. Hold on, let me see. Oh, somebody said it seemed like it's more vacant lots on the list than anything, probably, but buy land because eventually all that land about to get developed.
Yeah, and you can be strategic on where you buy your lots at. Like if you plan on building, try to buy them all in the same neighborhood or adjacent to each other if you can find them like that.
I might bid just to see if there's some Brightmore land lots on there. I gotta be because it's too much land over either land bank own them or the city own them. That was one question that somebody asked. I'm waiting on it. Everybody come back on. They was
Yeah.
wondering if the when does the land bank become the owner?
Now, the thing, speaking on land before we go to that, is if you buy a vacant lot, you have to take all precautions to make sure that that lot is safe, secure. You keep the grass cut, and you have to be aware people will start dumping on it depending on where it's at. So if people start dumping on your lot, the city's holding you accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you have to make sure, don't just think you're going to buy a bunch of vacant lots and disappear and show back up in 5 years and start because if the city get involved and start giving you blight notices, say it's a pile of tires on there and they send somebody out to clean it up and you got like a $2,500 blight bill, but you only paid, $200 for the lot, most people gonna get that lot up, and it's gonna be right back on the tax list again.
Mm-hmm.
So
But yeah, like if you buying a lot of lots, I definitely suggest that you just put up a chain link fence. That's gonna be your cheapest option. Put up some no dumping signs, no trespassing. Keep the grass cut. If you got sidewalk in front of your land, you gonna have to keep that shoveled. And I think then put some salt down. That's
right.
about it's much
Yep.
cheaper than taking care of a house for sure.
Yeah, just make sure it's presentable. So when people see something that's being taken care of, they're less likely to start dumping on it.
Yeah.
You might get a few old men sitting there that's retired from Ford. One of them come through with their Cadillac and they sit their lawn furniture out there and be drinking
Right.
and
Yo,
put
right
uh,
spot.
yeah, be playing horseshoes on it. You might want to set up the horseshoes game for them, so they, because don't nobody dump on them lots they where they play horseshoes. Put out the chessboard for them.
Low key, you might want to do a little welcome to the neighborhood block party on that thing. Like, hey y'all, this is a safe place,
Yeah,
Y'all come over here, have your little bid whiz tournament, just keep an eye out for me. Low key, that actually ain't a bad idea.
right.
Yeah. Oh, but they did. Somebody I see. Is it true that all the homes that's not sold at the tax sale goes to the land bank eventually?
Not necessarily. So most of the usually the land bank has a right of refusal for the properties, and this is and there's a Detroit land bank, and then there's a county land bank and a state land bank. So the Detroit land bank probably wouldn't want the properties. They probably turned them down at some point in time anyway. Um, I mean, it's a selection process, so it's not always that's not always the case.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going back to the gram questions. I think that was it for the gram. All right. When you purchase vacant lots, are the mineral rights included with the land? That's a very good question.
Um, I would say probably yes, but you're getting a quick claim deed. Typically, all rights to that land are transferred. We got a good attorney, Ponce. He can explain that to you when if you reach out to him. But typically, yeah, usually when we sell, unless there's a deed restriction or something specific on that deed that say the mineral rights are not included, everything is being transferred over, all the rights and responsibility.
Mm-hmm. All right. How much does the land go for?
Or it can be as cheap as. So you got to keep it. Well, here's the thing. It depends on when the structure was torn down. If the property was still being assessed with a structure on it, and the taxes could be 2,000 a year. And remember, we said on the first round, they're bidding based on the past due taxes that were due. But typically, you're going to see your lots go anywhere from $100 and up. But because your property taxes on your vacant lots might be $20 or $30 a year, or maybe $100 a year, depending on the size of the lot, where it's located, and what the assessment value, the taxable value of that lot is.
Hmm. When is the auction? So the auction is two auctions. The first round is should I could do a shared screen so people can
Yeah,
kind of
it's
see.
September. Um, Online bidding starts September 2nd. The first batch closes September 14th and 15th.
Yeah, I'm about to do a shared screen. All right, y'all. So I don't know if y'all can see my screen, and I have an actual login, but I've never bid it, which is crazy. So that's probably been for years. So you do have to register. You have to set up a username and password. Let's see. Welcome to Wayne County Auction. The listing started on the 15th, like Red said earlier. Registration is from the 15th until September 6th, and it ends at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's another good thing to notice. Michigan, Detroit, we are Eastern Time Zone. So everybody who's bidding on here from out of state or out of the country, please keep that in mind when you're bidding, because a lot of people I think forget about that. Deposits are now open until September 6th until 5 o'clock. Online bidding starts on September 2nd, which is right before Labor Day, y'all, which is actually good because a lot of people are going to be eating barbecue and stuff and going to probably forget. And then the batch is going to start closing from the 14th to the 15th. You can click on here to see the bidding rules. You do have to click on this affidavit to read about all the stuff. Again, to bid on one property, your deposit is $2,500 with a non-refundable registration fee of $50. So if you bid, put up $2,500, you're gonna get back $2,450. So make that known. If you put up $10,000, you're gonna get back what's that $99.50. So to bid on more than one property, you got to put up 10 grand, and the registration fee is still 50. A property identified as a premium property will require a deposit of 25,000 with a non-refundable fee of $50. I wonder what they deem as premium. What I
Yeah,
think premium is probably when we get into the villages and your historical neighborhoods.
yeah, and then some commercial properties too. Because there was a property on Woodward I seen 4 years ago, and it was considered premium, and it was I think they had like 80,000 or something in back taxes on it. So that would have been a premium property right on Woodward. It was actually in Highland Park, but I mean it was a commercial property. So yeah, another thing too about the vacant lots, um, you have to be careful. Make sure you do some research and probably look up like the lot size, because it may be a vacant lot, but it may be the lot size may be like 20 by 60 or something like that. It may be too small to build a residential structure on for that, based on what that city zoning requirements are.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you'll see a lot, but maybe the adjacent landowner have fenced it in and they never went to buy it or do anything. They just fenced it in. And it's such a small parcel that they just assume they own it, or it's a small parcel and it's not fenced in, but it just sit in between two houses and it's just a real small, maybe like a slab of land or something like that. It's so narrow you can't do anything with it, and that's why nobody ever purchased it. So be careful when you're buying vacant lots. Do some research. Try to find out what the lot size of that land is, so you don't buy something that's useless, pretty much, unless you're trying to build a garden or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, time to ask more questions. I think that was it. What question? I'm scrolling. Oh no, I answered that. So as far as the site go, blah blah blah. I'm trying to read what's important. You can't ask them questions. You can call 313-224-2864. You will be on hold forever. So I suggest that you send an email. And their email is support@waynecountytreasurermi.com. Now, I don't know what their response time is, so you can always send an email and call and see what, whoever picks up first, I guess. Once you win the bid, you have to submit in addition to the winning bid amount, the estimated summer taxes due for the year 2022. That sounds new.
No, that's been around. That's one of the other. So what it is, they want you to because the summer taxes technically just came out, and based on their due date, when you get the property, those taxes are going to be due. So basically, the current taxes that are due on the property.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I did not know it. But see, again, I've never bid it at the auction ever. I always get it beforehand. So I just want to go get on that tax payment plan going about my business.
Yep.
Uh,
Make sure they read that affidavit. I don't know if you want to pull it up,
yeah.
but it's just explaining that you're bidding on behalf of yourself or as an agent of another person. So that's why I talk about you have some entities that'll say, okay, you don't have the full 10,000 to bid, and maybe you're bidding on a property that you're only going to bid 5,000 on or something like that, and they'll open up the account and allow you to bid. So that affidavit is going to apply to them, but they need to hold you accountable. But if you're bidding, make sure you read that affidavit. Some people just be happy go lucky and get on here and be like, oh, I'm bidding, I'm buying a house for $5,000. And they don't read none of the details. They don't know about water bills after they get the deed. They don't know about the title issues and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. So I pulled it up. Hold on, let me see if we got any more questions. I'll answer questions next. So I attest under criminal penalty of perjury that I am registering to bid on behalf of myself or as an agent for another person for the purpose of purchasing the property. Blah blah blah. To make this affidavit pursuant to the terms and conditions of sale. I have read, understand, and agree to the terms and conditions of sale posted online here. If executing this affidavit as an agent for another person, I attest that I am authorized by that person to execute. Whether executing this affidavit on behalf of myself or agent, I attest that I have personal knowledge of the statements made, and that I am legally and financially liable. So that means if you know you ain't got no money and your bid wins, you are liable to pay that, and I think they can take you to court, right? Because that's a
Oh
legal
yeah, yeah,
binding contract.
yep,
Yeah, we do need policy on here for that part. At the time of the application for deed with respect to any property purchased by me at the auction is submitted as required by section blah blah blah. I will not nor will any person requested to be listed as a grantee on the deed to any property purchased directly or indirectly hold more than the minimums very small legal interest in any property with delinquent property taxes located in Wayne County as the time of the application for deed with respect to any property purchased by me at the auction is submitted as required by section blah blah blah. I will not nor will any person requested to be listed as a grantee on the deed to any property. So in summary, what that sounds like to me, I'm not no attorney, but in layman's terms, this sounds like if you ain't got no damn money, don't bid. Because if you don't have no money and you bid and you win the bid, you are legally binded to
yep,
execute that contract. If not, we will take all proper measures to sue your blank.
yep. And the other thing too is they don't want you to be delinquent on any of your other properties on your property taxes. So
Yeah.
you on here big baller bidding 20, 30,000, but you owe 8,000 on the current properties that you owe. Right. So
Now,
just
will
keep
they make you go on? Now, I wonder this though, Red. Sorry to cut you off. If you win and you owe taxes on another property, you gonna have to pay those taxes right then, right?
they probably not even going when you submit in for your deed. So you'll win the bid when you submit in your information for your deed, they're going to run your name. Now, whether you got the other property in an LLC or something like that, that's something you want to take up with your attorney. But they got a way of finding out who is who, right? So the thing is, don't come spending money with us and you still owe us money on something else that you ain't paid, right? But you're trying to buy more property so you can get behind on those too. Basically, that's what the county is saying. So this is why I wanted to bring this up, because a lot of people just overlook this completely. And they'll go in, oh, I won these properties, and oh, they won't give me the property because I owe back taxes on my other properties. Now, they probably will work with you if you go and just pay those other property taxes up. But if it wasn't in your budget to do that and buy the new properties, or maybe you work with somebody and they say you don't have the 10,000 and they put up to 10. Now they put up to 10,000. You're bidding thinking you're going to get the property, but guess what? They own other properties that they owe property taxes on. So now you're not getting your property because you bid it under this person. So if you're going to do that, make sure both parties understand what it is and make sure they both, one, somebody has the money they supposed to have, and nobody owes any property taxes on any other Wayne County properties.
Mm-hmm. What is some advice you would give to a first-time out-of-state investor? I'll let you go first, Reg.
You got to come here. Like,
Facts.
you don't have to come visit me. You don't have to come visit Asia. You need to come visit, drive around the neighborhoods. Whatever information you're getting on pricing and everything, you need to put some eyes on the neighborhood and on the properties so that you can see what 40,000 would get you versus 80,000 versus 120. Or maybe, to be honest, you might want to invest in the suburbs. People just lump Detroit in as one big, everything is Detroit and Michigan. It's not. 8 miles just the street is not what we thought it was from a movie, right? So you want to come here, you want to get a feel for the area. That's the best investment you can make in Detroit, is actually coming to visit Detroit, so you can see where your money is going to be best used at. $80,000 in one area, it could be night and day compared to another area.
Facts.
Oh.
Like I don't know if you met my clients from Orange County at the event.
Yeah.
I love them because they follow us on What Up Though Fridays. The first time they came to Detroit, they paid me for a consultation and took me to dinner. So shout out to them. They met me. They had a map of the city, right? They put it out on my table and everything. I should have recorded this because I've never had nobody do this. And every neighborhood we be on here talking about, they highlighted.
Yeah.
And they got in their rental car and drove around, and then they scratched out like, nope, we don't want to invest here. Yep, we want to invest here. And they don't put offer. They put an offer in on one of the houses we seen on the tour. I don't know if it went through yet. I got to talk to them.
Okay.
And then they bought a couple more. So like they actually listened to me, to us, and did exactly what we say. And they winning out here.
Yeah, that's the one. One was a realtor and the other's a pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah. She quoted me because she said, what I was telling her about the investor calls I get, and somebody will see like a $20,000 house and they'll be like, well, what's all wrong with it? And I'll be like, everything. And she was just cracking up because by her being a realtor, she understands what type of questions, we get. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you have to come here. You have to see, like, if I'm gonna buy, if my budget is 100,000, do I buy a $20,000 house acquisition and do 80 in rehab, or do I just buy the $80,000 house that just needs some makeup on it, right? And you have to really understand the different dynamics of different neighborhoods and where you're spending your money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like shout out to them because they actually want us to come out there and do our class for like their group. So I was like, just let me know. I don't know who all they want to come other than me, but I was like, I'm gonna tell the whole crew, like, y'all come on, we about to kick it.
Sweet.
Hold on. Somebody said I purchased a lot on Gresham by accident from the tax sale. I thought it was the building, but I was wrong. It's a nice size lot, but a huge cell tower behind it. So this is what I would do in a situation like that. I would keep that land. I would fence it off, find out who owned that damn tower, and then lease your land to them.
Yep.
Cause they gonna need to put another tower there, and then you have to get paid. Make them sign 10. They probably do at least a 10-year lease on something like that. Cause that's a structure that's put. Like you can't just up and move that.
Right.
So that's what I would do in a case like that.
Yeah, and it depends on what part of Gratiot, because so we talking Wayne County, so it's south of 8 Mile, all the way down Gratiot to downtown. It really depends on what part, and you can't go wrong with commercial space or lots on Gratiot and Grand River right now,
Mm-hmm.
because Woodward runs straight through, and then Gratiot and Grand River runs diagonally through the city up through the suburbs. So a lot of development from downtown is coming north. So yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I don't know what you paid for it though, but um, I'm assuming you didn't pay too much for it. But yeah, it doesn't seem like a bad investment.
I keep it. If you anywhere on Grass, well, I ain't gonna say downtown because ain't nobody buying nothing on Grass downtown.
Yeah,
Side,
if you got something downtown, call me tomorrow.
right? Yeah, you ain't buying. Sidebar: did you see the new tower condo that's like it's at least a couple 100 feet in the air and it's like loft? It's by where the old pawn shop used to be when Grass coming
Yeah,
right before Woodward.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just happened to be at the light, looked up like the hell, like
Yeah, yeah,
I would never live there. You couldn't pay me to live there. That's too high.
yeah, yeah. You Detroit gonna surprise you. I mean, it's already surprising, but it's really yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, like I tell people, Detroit is a blank canvas. Like, if you got a good idea and it's dope, you gonna flourish. It's good. Like that's why a lot of people are coming here. You have a lot of I posted about this a couple weeks ago. They're called climigrants that's coming here. Like people, especially from the West Coast, the
Yep,
South, like here in hot Texas. 110-degree weather and no rain for 4 months to me is retarded. Like
right.
that I could never give me snow any day because I could put more clothes on. I could turn my heat up. I can go get some space heaters. You know what I'm saying? I can get me an electric blanket. It's just so many things that I could do. When it's hot, it's just hot. Like it's just hot. And I lived in Mississippi for 5 years, so I don't miss that. No, absolutely not. But
That's
I think that's what's about to really change our real estate as far as pricing because we're like so late to the game as far as astronomical prices like Austin or Cali or something like that. You got these people coming from Cali with Cali dollars or what else another hot place? New Mexico or Nevada or anywhere from the West Coast that's coming here with those dollars and for what they're getting for a Detroit house that they can't get nowhere else, they're going to pay that. They're going to pay what you're asking. Hell, they might pay above asking.
and the East Coast. So a lot of like that Boston Edison, Palmer Woods. A lot of anytime I get a listing, it's always somebody, at least one or two people from the East Coast, because they're used to those style of homes. They're used to the Four Seasons, but what they're not used to is the cheap prices.
Yep.
And they're just like, man, we get so much more. And then the way we work and the way people are making money now, a lot of stuff is online and remote. So you don't have to be locked into a certain area to make money. And you can live somewhere inexpensive and still make New York money. And you're going to see a lot more people coming to the Midwest, to Chicago and Detroit, because it's similar to what they have on the East Coast, and they can find similar. If you want a loft, you can come in Detroit and stay in a loft,
And be
right?
on the water.
Yeah. If you want a historic 4,000, 5,000 square foot home, you can do that as well. So you have a lot of options. Um, and then you don't have the traffic. Like one of the people we know from New York, we was riding, we was riding down 7 Mile. He was like, "Man, I could see all the street lights. Like when you in some of them cities, there's so much going on, you can't see past a block, with the traffic." So yeah, Detroit is unique. You just got to know how to navigate it, like anywhere else, pretty much.
That's Erica calling me. I'm like, why are you calling me? She's like, oh my bad. I got you on live.
Yeah, she should have jumped on the line so we could talk about our properties, but we got it covered.
I'm about to ask her, like, do you want to come on? Yeah, because she can give another perspective about investing in Detroit when you don't listen.
Yeah.
Like, you're my friend, love you to death, but told you. But
I'll be watching her, and I'll be like, it's one person. I won't say his name because he cool, but he hosts like seminars and stuff, and he
yeah,
has a huge platform, probably one of the biggest in the country, and he'll be like, yeah, 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 and this is how you invest in real estate, and this works everywhere but Detroit. It'd be like, I'll be like, damn. So I'll be asking people like, what's your issue with Detroit? And the thing is like everything can work here. You just got to do it in the right area, or you got to have the proper funding to do it.
yeah,
And
and you got to have the right team.
yeah, so people, you just can't come and just be like, so for example, I got a client, $150,000 budget. He's like, okay, I need to make 1% of that rent every month. I'm like, cool. Here's your options. You can spend that 150 in Redford and do that easily, or Oak Park, right?
Yep.
No, but I just want Detroit. I'm like, for 150, you might get by with having two properties. The issue is when you're spending that, you're probably gonna buy a 40 or $50,000 home. You're gonna have different issues than what you would if you were buying something in another area, like a Redford or a better area of Detroit. And the thing is, people always go the cheapest route.
Always.
So, and that comes with a whole different quality of tenants, whole different. It comes with its own nuances. The neighborhoods are different. So when people just make those blanket statements, I'll be like, nah, that's not always Detroit, because if that was the case, none of us would be investing, right? And
Mhm.
we successful at it. And that's so yeah. I just it just trips me out when people um, have a bad taste in their mouth about Detroit because they got burned or something.
But a lot of people get burned because they think they can do what they do in their city here, and we ain't that type of city. And you know, the biggest people who give me that type of junk is Philly. You East Coast people get on my last nerve. Like y'all get on my nerves. Y'all think, oh, I'm about to come here do this. Whoop de whoop. My rehab gonna be 30 grand. Where? Like Detroit rehab, our labor cost is way different than y'all because y'all using a lot of other nationalities to do the work, and our nationalities here charge like everybody else. Cause they ain't on that no more. They like we ain't about to be the lowest man. We want 100,000. You paying Billy Joe Bob 100,000. You gonna give me a Jorge and all of us $100,000 too. Like it ain't like the average rehab in Detroit right now for a full gut is 150. That ain't your roof. That ain't your. That might be your windows and some siding.
Right.
Like people don't understand. Oh, here go a question. When you purchase a property from the auction as a quick claim, do you do the repairs for the property have to be updated in the time frame basis like the land bank? Nope.
Nope. So the that's one of the things with the well, first and foremost is quick claim deed, not quick, because
Oh
we
yeah,
say,
where's Emma?
we say that a lot. Emma always correct people on that. But yeah, the county. So the county thing is they I mean, they're not policing you like the land bank. The land bank's purpose is to eliminate blight. They don't want you buying a bunch of properties and not doing nothing with them and just sitting on them, because people will buy. We literally have investors that will come on the auction site, I guarantee you, and buy two or 300 properties without seeing them. And then after they close, they're going to cherry pick, and they might keep, if they brought 200, they may keep 30 of them and immediately put the other ones back on the market for $1,000 more than what they paid for them, or 2,000 more than what they paid for them. And those homes would sell, or those properties would sell, and they made an extra couple 100,000 just by doing that, right? People do it all the time. The issue is the time it takes for those to sell, or somebody had a bright idea they were going to buy all these properties and rehab them, and they just didn't have the funding or the manpower to do so. And 3 years from now, they're back on the tax sale. They're blighted. They got blight notices up to wazoo. The lawns haven't been cut. The properties are open and accessible. So the land bank just wanted to avoid that. So they put requirements that, hey, if you're going to buy this property, you need to have a timeline as to when you're going to have this property back in good standing as far as the condition and up to code. But with the county, that's not a requirement.
Mm-hmm. Only thing that I suggest, because this done happened to me recently, I was minding my little black business over here on Kirksville and Cadillac since 2017, and now I got a yellow notice along with a lot of other people because I drove around. At first I felt like they were just targeting me, but it's actually other people too. And that's another sign you can notice when something's about to happen in your neighborhood, when everybody start getting them yellow notices from the City of Detroit Building Department. If everybody's starting to get blight tickets and stuff like that, that's letting you know there's something about to happen over there. So they need y'all to go and clean y'all stuff up or do something with it. Yep. So I have noticed that. But yeah, don't be like me. Make sure you register it as a vacant, pay that $100 a year, or put a building permit on there, and that'll kind of like, prolong that. But that time done ran out for me too. Right. Oh, the lady on Gresham with the lot, she said she paid $500 for it.
Oh, you good. I can't think of a part of Gratiot where you would have went wrong for $500.
Yeah, anywhere. Especially if you over there in Pole Town, which is right outside Eastern Market. That's another neighborhood I've been telling people to invest in for years. It's too much right there. You got Detroit Edison Academy right there, right? Which is that's a top school in DPS system. You got the Eastern Market right there, and there's so much development going on over there. You go up a couple more blocks, you in Midtown. You go down Woodward, now you back downtown. And that's all in that little square mile radius. So that's and it's so much land over there.
Yep. And depending on the lot size, yeah, you probably really came up. If you want to make yourself feel good, just put a for sale by owner sign up front and put your number on there and see how your phone rings. And that'll let you know.
Yep. But I'll keep it. I mean, your taxes on $500 ain't nothing.
Yep.
Hold on, what we got next? If you could pick one area of the city to fucking Brightmoor, I'm team Brightmoor all day. You can get in Brightmoor dirt cheap right now. I mean, you can get a house in Brightmoor that somebody living in for under $15,000.
Yeah, I would say it depends. I always tell people it depends on your budget and what your strategy is. And so people too, a lot of times as an investor, you have to understand, I call it your tolerance level, right, for risk. So if you're trying to invest and you can't really deal with certain things, then certain areas may not be for you, right? Regardless of what your budget is. But if you want to people, hey, I'm gonna hire a property manager to do this, I'm gonna hire the right contractors, so I don't have to keep coming back fixing stuff that went wrong and all of that, then you pretty much can go anywhere as long as the numbers make sense. But yeah, it just depends on your budget and your tolerance for risk. So I would start there. But yeah, there are some areas that's hot. Like if you can afford to find something good in Bagley, if it's a good deal, the numbers make sense. Bagley. Some areas are already hot. Asia said Brightmoor because it's about to be hot. So if you can afford to buy it and hold it and wait until it's hot, right now it's just got a little sizzle to it. So you want to buy it now, right? If you can afford to do that. Some people can't afford to let their money sit in the area for 3 or 4 years or so.
But you can let it sit and rent it out though, because Brightmoor is right outside of Redford. What else over there? Livonia, Dearborn Heights, all this right off Telegraph. So the rent in Detroit is about to be disrespectful very, very soon, if not disrespectful already. Like I already see it. Like the stuff I'm seeing stuff rent for. I seen a house on Plainview. They wanted $1,300. It was rehab, but it was on Plainview.
Yeah.
And they wanted $1,300. I'm like, on Plainview, bro.
And here's the thing about rental rates, because people are always scared. Everybody's scared the market gonna crash. rental rates never really decreased. Even when we had the crash, you might have seen a few people decrease their rent $25, $50 to hurry up and get a tenant in there. But the reality of it is that even if we start getting a lot of foreclosures, those homeowners are now renters, which means you have even more renters and tenants in the market. So rental rates in all of Detroit, what the 850, 700 for a 3 bedroom brick
That's
bungalow
over.
in North, those days about to be over with.
They already over. Cause if my 2 bedroom in Brightmoor about to rent for $850, and it's a little frame house, imagine what a brick gonna cost you.
Yeah.
And this ain't no garage, no basement. I'm on the crawl space.
Yeah.
So I keep telling people like we gonna need more landlords, good landlords soon because you got a couple things that's happening in Detroit. The first thing that's happening is you got landlords selling their houses at record prices right now because they can get what they want for it. They bought it when the crash happened or way back when, and they've been renting it since 2006. They done got their money. They done made that money. Now that Detroit hit its median average price for 100 grand for the first time since like what was it, the early 90s or something?
Right.
Like that changes the game. So so all you people that's on month to month leases, you about to get put out. Peace out. But the thing is, where are you gonna go? Because whatever you were paying that person, which is probably way below market value, you're not gonna be able to get nowhere else. Especially if you in one of them nice big brick bungalows with a 2-car garage and you was only paying $850 for the last 10 years. You're not getting that nowhere in Detroit no more. It's
Right.
not happening. You're gonna get it in Brightmoor for about another 2 years or so, and then you're gonna be priced out of that too.
Yep. So I mean, the city already, the city is having affordable housing crisis as we speak. So
Mm-hmm.
um, then you're going to start getting government agencies jumping in saying, "Hey, we need to build more affordable housing or give incentives to investors to create affordable housing." So
They're already doing that. I gotta post this article. I seen it last week, either in the Crane or the Detroit News. If you own a commercial space in the city of Detroit, you know how the old schools with the business downstairs and the apartments upstairs, they will pay you to renovate those units to rent for affordable housing prices. Do you know how much a game changer that is?
oh yeah, that's crazy.
The only issue with that is 50% of the people who apply won't be able to do it because their paperwork ain't in order at their company. They probably owe a bunch of back taxes on some stuff. They probably got blight tickets and so forth. Now, for them giving you that kind of money, you're gonna have to hire licensed professionals so your cousin and them can't do the work if they can't pull no permits. But that is a game changer. I was like, I wish I had me a commercial space. That's like Big Red. If Southfield Housing Department or Detroit or whoever gives me the money to rehab that house, I will Section 8 that house all day. The
Yeah.
Section 8 number
Yep.
just gonna be higher than what y'all gonna pay me though, because the type of finishes that I'm gonna put in there, you gonna give me that type of money.
Yep.
But if you're gonna give me the money, so be it. But that's a game. I gotta find it and post it. It was either in the Crane or Bridge Detroit. It was one of them email lists I'm on. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, there's always incentives for affordable housing, to create affordable, like through MISTA and things of that nature. So, and like you said, a lot of people, another reason, tenants are going to have a hard time is because a lot of landlords aren't in compliance with the rental requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have a lot of landlords and investors didn't even know because maybe they had a property manager that wasn't licensed or didn't tell them about it, but they're going to keep getting hit with these fees and fines for not being in compliance. They just going to sell the house, or they're going to say, well, if we got to do all of this, we need to raise the rent in order to comply. So it's just going to be a loop. It's going to be tough for tenants. And a lot of tenants are staying in properties that are not in compliance, and the landlord can't fix them or can't afford to fix them. They're going to be forced to move. So it's definitely going to be a crisis for people looking for a place to rent.
All right, I found one article just on the Google search because it was a couple. So the first one was Detroit. Hold on, let me share my screen so y'all can see this because this is kind of dope. I gotta find that because I was like, excuse me, like I just go buy a commercial space. You gonna give me the bread? All right. So Detroit's new $203 million housing plan will renovate vacant buildings and offer down payment help. So that's still some help. Let me skim through this. Blah blah blah. Detroit City Council members joined the mayor and nonprofit leaders to introduce the plan, which includes a range of programs from renovating Detroit land bank properties to offering down payment assistance to 600 Detroiters. We built a lot of affordable housing. We're converted a lot of vacant land bank homes. We preserve every affordable unit we have, but here's the no question: affordable housing is more urgent issue than it has ever been in the city for decades. Facts. Blah blah blah. 12 million in tax credits help keep. Oh, that's something else. So I'm gonna have to read through this and then I'll post like the stuff that's important. But this is still kind of dope. This one of them. See if I can find the one I seen in the I think it was either Crane or Detroit News. Let me see if we got any more questions because y'all got 20 minutes. Somebody said buy and hold. I've always been team buy and hold. I just started flipping. Like I like the first of the month. Well, I flipped rehab what's it called, turnkey houses, but this is my first flip. Can you please repeat the telephone number for Wayne County? You can just Google it, but I put the link in the comments on YouTube, so y'all gonna have to head on over there. Please post it when you find it, or I will. I'm definitely gonna post it. I do want to talk about that water bill thing that y'all ain't applying for to get your bill $18 to $58. I'm not understanding why y'all are y'all ashamed. Do y'all like paying bills? Like this is stuff that I don't get. Because if your girl qualified, I would be paying $18 a month. And then people like, oh well, it's a limit. If you using 4,500 gallons of water a month, something is wrong. And even if you do use it, you just got to pay what the difference. So what you gonna pay $18 plus $24? I mean, you're not paying $100. And then the city have events to help you fill out the paperwork. They doing one for that. They doing one for the taxes. I gotta post that video too, but it's just too much help out here, and I don't understand why we as a people just don't want to fill out some minimum paperwork or maximum to get the better outcome. Do you know how much money you will save if your water bill is $18 a month?
Yep. Don't. I tell people don't let your ego or pride get in the way. If you can save money and put that money somewhere else, make it happen.
Look, let's talk about pride and ego. Me. At the event, what did I tell everybody? I was like, excuse me, don't throw my damn cans or bottles or glass away. These are 10 cents per thing, okay?
People from other states don't get that because they don't know all the states don't have that. They be like, "Why are you saving the cans?"
I was like, put them in this box over here and back to the party. I was so serious. People like, what's going on? I was like, y'all throwing away $8. I took all them bottles to the store. I think I got like $6.10, and I used that towards my groceries. Like I am never too proud to cash no bottles in. Never.
Yep.
Never. Hey, is Cockland Street far east of Detroit a good area? I saw a quad for sale. If you saw a 4 unit for sale, I don't care where it's at, buy it.
Yeah, and it depends on the price and what you got to put into it. But I mean, for the most part, yeah, Copland is an area is gonna go through its changes for the better. But yeah, overall, I would say a four unit. It's not that many 4 units. It seems like it's a lot in Detroit, but it's not. And most of them, the ones that are vacant, are so far beyond repair, or the people that have them, they hold them forever. So that's like a hard find to find one that's in decent shape that you can afford. So I would definitely say buy it and hold it.
So check this out. I sent this to my boy out of DC real quick. This is an
Oh, the
eight
brother
unit.
Kelly,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know you probably seen it. This is a deal. 349.9 is the asking. I think it's an 8 unit with two ones. But look, this mud looks
And
amazing.
and it's on Kelly, so you right on the border of Harper Woods and East Point.
Yep, and you right off a major freeway, I-94.
Yep.
This mug is perfect. Only thing I would probably go in here and do myself is paint. A fresh coat.
Oh yeah, yep.
Now you can leave it as is and just paint, but I would go in and paint. I would I replace them old vanities. They gotta go. That's just me. And you ain't gotta go nothing fancy. Just get the little 49.99 boy, the $25 faucet. Boom, there you go. And I would probably replace them old toilets too and put like the water sense flow toilets in.
Yeah, because you're gonna be paying for water for that. So
Yeah,
you
so
got
whatever that's gonna decrease, because you're right, because like as the landlord, you got to pay the water bill. So I would replace all faucets, shower, tub, spouts, all that to the low flow stuff, to to help the water bill, and
yeah,
then I would spray the tile with I glaze it,
yeah,
the
yeah.
shower tile. I do that, and you ain't got to do that all at once. You can do that one by one,
Yep. As somebody move out, go in and do the other one.
and I think it'll come with these appliances. Man, I sectionate that whole building.
Yep.
Like this is nice. Like this is nice, nice. Somebody said, "What's the crane?" So the crane is Crane's Detroit business. You do have to pay for it. You can either get on their email list. They have an email monthly fee or yearly, I think, or a quarter, and then they have the actual paper one that you can subscribe to too. I just subscribe to online.
Yeah, it's Crane's Communication, CRAIN.
Yeah,
They actually have some publications in other states as well, but ours is Crane's Detroit business.
yeah. They got Cleveland, I think, in Chicago.
Yeah, and they have a lot of real estate information, but a lot of commercial but now there's Crane's Detroit. We met with them because they're starting to add more commercial, I mean residential real estate in their publication. So yeah, it's just a good resource for information.
All right. Somebody said, I have a property I'm thinking about selling or rent it out for Airbnb. I just don't have the funds for any problems or damage if tenant uh any advice needed. As far as Airbnb, I've only been an Airbnb consumer, not a producer, so I really don't know that. But I do know you can get insurance and stuff, and Airbnb does reimburse you. I'm sure somebody out here got a good course on it. I don't know who, so I can't plug nobody. Um, as far as renting it, well, as far as the tenant part, you just probably gotta have good stuff in your lease, I would assume, and
Mm.
then make them get renters insurance and make sure you got insurance on the house as well. And I'll let you kind of talk about that more, Reg.
Yeah, so this go back to like when we talked about personal and business. It when we talked about personal and business credit, but this goes to personal and business budgeting, right? So just think of that house as a business. Would you have opened that business if you didn't have the reserves to cover that business not making money for 3 months, right? Could you still own that business, own and operate that business? So property damage is just part of owning a rental property. Airbnb can be a little bit more riskier because you don't have like you have people in and out. It's different people every time, but you can make a lot more money with an Airbnb if you do it right. But yeah, I would. You might have to tap into some other sources. The thing is, in all reality, not every tenant tears up a property, right? If you got a good tenant. You may have somebody rent that property for 5 years straight and don't damage anything. The only thing that would go wrong with the property is normal wear and tear. But I always tell people the money is made when you buy the property. If you buy it right and you got reserves set aside and you're putting a part of the rent that you collected, you put a portion of it away every month to like a reserve account of your own to cover things when they come up, you'll be all right. But I mean, I wouldn't let that scare me from renting a property out. I mean, that's the risk you take when you become a landlord. But if you're ready to sell it, give me a call. I'll help you with that too.
There you go,
And
shameless plug.
yeah, sometimes that's the best option though, because like let's say I don't know what you pay for the property and what you can get, but let's say you pay 80 for it and prices are up and you can get 150 for it versus you renting it out and being scared every night that the tenant may cause a $5,000 repair that you can't afford. Now you stuck because the tenant don't want to pay you because you can't afford to fix it. Maybe you sell it and then reinvest that money somewhere else and have a little bit of reserves left over.
Yep. All right, so I found the article. It was in the Crane. I gotta renew my subscription so I can read it all the way. So that won't happen right here on this live, but here we go. So on the storefront, Detroit will pay you to renovate that upstairs apartment. So it says a pilot program with the Southwest Detroit Business Association granted 8,500 per unit to renovate apartments above commercial spaces. Something that somebody took advantage of to renovate and rent out the units above his commercial space in the Springwells neighborhood. That's Southwest Detroit. So
Yeah.
that's genius. That is genius. And that's per unit. So if you got a 10 unit, you just got 85 stacks to go towards your renovation. Now
And,
that's probably something that somebody already living in and they just spruced it up.
yeah, and you got to think too. Most of those are one bedrooms or studios, so there none of them are probably more than maybe 600-700 square feet. So $8,500 in 700 square feet, that goes a long way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if everything is already functional and you just probably got to do some updates and things of that nature. That's I like that program.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That's genius. So now I gotta follow it because they said this is a pilot. So I'm gonna reach out to I'm gonna see if I can get them to come on here. Southwest Detroit Business. I'm gonna see if I can reach out to them and see if they'll come on here and answer questions about that. Cause it's a lot of commercial spaces in Southwest. A
Right.
lot. Now, any for sale, I don't know, because Dan Gilbert, he done been down there buying up stuff over the years, and then investors in general been buying over there because that was one of the first neighborhood. That's the neighborhood next to Corktown. So once Corktown got crazy, people just moved, to Southwest because that's right down the street. But this is a game changer right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
The,
game changer.
so the only thing, if you own a building and you operate the lower unit as your business, again, you have to be very selective at the tenants that you put up there. So because that can interfere with your bread and butter business that's on the main floor. But 8,500 and you getting it per unit. If you got 4 units up there, and you got a contractor doing all the same finishes, all the same, that's where you start saving a little bit of money at.
Yeah, because they getting
But,
valuable pricing.
yep. So,
That's a game changer because they look like they got appliances too. Um, if it's a studio or a 1 bedroom, I don't know what 1 bedrooms are in Detroit, so I don't know what that go for, but that's still a game changer. But it's Southwest, so they getting top dollar. But if you got to make it affordable, I wonder is that the catch?
yeah, because they probably, so the thing too, in each area kind of got like its own price per square foot for rent and that type of thing. Um, so for example, there's a lot of storefronts on Plymouth, you know what I'm saying, at Evergreen or 7 Mile in Wyoming or something like that. It may be a whole different market than what it would be for like something closer to downtown or midtown or something like that. So, but either way, 8,500 per unit that you didn't have to start with. And it's a lot of people that own a business on the first floor and that upstairs been vacant for years,
Yep.
and they
According,
just never did nothing with it.
according to the part of the article that I can read, he was renting out the bottom units to a financial service company and a cell phone store. So he wasn't even having his he just owned the building. And there
Right,
were 6 apartments upstairs that had water damage, falling plaster, and outdated electrical and plumbing. So he
right.
got 8,500 times 6 and then probably just did the difference. But that go a long way.
Yeah. Yep, he probably just took that money and did the roof, and then probably the plumbing, did the rest out of pocket or something like
Yeah,
that.
because if it's 8,500 a unit, I'll pay for all the mechanics with that and then just pay for the put back together.
Right.
Cause that's gonna be your most cost. But yeah, that is a game changer. But I think that's it. Cause we about to wrap this up. I don't see no more questions. But I did put the link to this article. I think when you sign up, you get to read so many for free, and then after that, you got to pay. But if you are a college student, you do get the college student rate. Cause that's how I paid for my subscription for years. It was like $24 a year or something. Cause I'm a college kid. But yeah,
Find you a college student that you, especially if you got kids in college, tell them to go sign up.
yeah.
Pay
You
for it.
know what? I still got my college email. I mean, for real, like, I still got my Eastern email. I'm a all they could tell me is no. So
Right.
I'm big on trying some stuff. Oh, so I can't do that. All right, cool.
Wait, y'all keep them emails forever? That was part of y'all tuition?
I guess, but well, with Eastern's email, it converted to a Gmail account, so I haven't logged in years. So I'm
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do that tonight and see if it still work. I'll let you know. But if it do still work and they give me my discount, I'm all about saving. So if I could pay
Right.
24, because the business rate per year, I think it's like 300 a year or something like that to subscribe to Crane.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we got these are the last couple questions we're gonna answer. So what's the best way to spend 20 grand?
Oh, probably partner with somebody.
Yeah.
Or a down payment on a private or hard money loan if you're doing a renovate. Well, from an investment standpoint, if you're buying a flip or yeah, a down, I would use it towards a down payment if you're an investor. Um, yeah, or even if you're not an investor, or if you're an investor, partner with somebody. So somebody else may have, 40, somebody else may have 20, and y'all pool y'all money together. Just make sure you get a good attorney to draft up your document.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody said I'm trying to get to 149.9. I don't know what that's about. What's your info? I'll call you. You can book a consultation for me. I don't know about Reg, but I put your info in the description, Reg, like your email and stuff.
Yeah, just go to regiusrealestate.com. That's my business website. Or you can just Google Reginald Perryman. I'll come up under real estate somewhere. I just like saying that because I remember Googling myself and nothing much came up. So I like people to Google me.
I know that's right. Google me.
Yeah.
Somebody said wonderful as always, definitely right on time. Yeah, we try to do this one every year because we did it last year. So August we always do it, and I think we did it again later in this year. But instead of you coming back in November, we got Deshaun coming on about the container stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope. He actually coming to our office. So our office, we have an agent investor meeting every the first Wednesday every month. Other investors are welcome to come too, but it's just a bunch of agents that actually invest, and we invite investors out. So he's gonna come out and speak to kind of tell them because he's got some projects right in Royal Oak, not too far from the office.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah, that's dope. So anybody buying a vacant lot, y'all definitely need to hear him speak when he come on.
Yeah, like the upfront costs, it might scare you, but what you gonna pay to rehab a house in Detroit, you might as well do this because it's new. It's easier to get new construction financing all day than rehab.
Yeah, and then not only that, I think when people first heard about it, at least some of the people I talked to, they was only thinking of residential,
Yeah.
but those properties can be used for commercial, and that's where I see the biggest benefit because like especially if you're doing a restaurant, the one of the biggest issues people have with restaurants is like rodents, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if they got brick wood, them rodents to get through that wood. They're not really getting through the steel. Worst case scenario, they may get through an entry point with the window or somebody enclose the door or something like that. But yeah, for commercial space, if you're trying to build like a small, I think he said a studio or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's just so many uses for that. And then the examples they show. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because eventually, so I'm gonna be quick. 'Cause we got 2 minutes. So my ultimate goal is the lots that I own in Detroit. I want to drop one there behind Big Red, sell Parker or keep Parker and build one there. And then my family, we got a lot of land in Alabama and Columbus, Georgia. I'm gonna bring them down there and do low income housing. Cause that
Yep.
way, cause then once you make it affordable, that's when you can get the state or the feds to damn near pay for most, if not all, of the costs.
Right.
Yeah, with me being on both sides as the developer and the GC, I'm gonna get two checks.
Two checks.
Two checks. All right, y'all. Well, Reg, always been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell the wife I said what up though.
Right. She probably watching it in the other room somewhere.
Oh
She
yeah.
just all she I'm gonna tell you, she watch you and Erica faithfully. Like I don't even think we don't even have that many TV shows we watch. She'd be like, Erica on, Asia on. I'll be like, all right.
That's what's up. Tell her. Well, you should have brought her to the VIP thing.
Yeah, I told her that after the fact.
Oh,
Next
good
time.
job.
Yeah,
Good job, Reg. Good job. Tell her I tried.
right.
But yeah, thank you as always again for coming on. Thank y'all for coming on, asking y'all questions. Thank you to everybody that donated via Cash App. You are awesome today if nobody told you. Next month's topic will be a recap of Detroit Real Estate Weekend. I'm waiting on the videographer to send everything to me, hopefully in the next week or so. And then he gonna record Big Orange for me too. And then I'm gonna run ads on that. So hopefully that helps me sell it faster. Cause it's probably gonna be somebody from out of state that buy it. I got a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for all the upgrades I did. But I don't care who buy it. Like hell, I might have to buy it from myself soon just to get it off the books. But that's another topic. But again, thank y'all for coming on. Be safe. Have a happy Sunday to you, and we will see y'all next month. Deuces.
Right.
And